Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be looking at MB&F's recent update to the LM101 that they did towards the beginning of May. Sorry it's been a little while since I've uploaded. I missed last week, so just had some personal stuff I had to take care of, but we are back, and of course we're going to start with MB&F. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you their release video. I can react to that, and then I'll give you a little bit more information about the slight adjustments that have been made for this newest edition of the LM101. Basically 3 different colorways. Super awesome to see, and pretty exciting stuff. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. It's like breathing. Really cool. I love how in this video we actually were able to see the construction of the dial. I think that's probably the most interesting part about MB&F watches is the flying balance wheel, and obviously how all that kind of integrates, but it is cool when you flip it over, you got to see the movement as well. Nice little update. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly go over the watches here that were released. So there were basically three new LM101s that have been released. Couple different colorways. So you've got a white gold with a purple dial, you've got a red gold with a dark blue dial, and then you have a stainless steel with a light blue dial. Really interesting to see stainless steel come into this. It's not something you see very often from MB&F. I think the only other 101 that I've seen from MB&F with a steel case is obviously the Hodinkee edition. But so you've got 3 different colorways, and I think the biggest thing here is this really interesting dial that has been you know, they've used on this watch. So it's very, very bright, very, very reflective. It's kind of a pretty interesting you know, variation on what dials typically MB&F had on their LM101s. They used to have engraved dials. Now there's just an absolutely pure blue, pure purple dial on it. And then another thing that was kind of interesting about this has to do with the actual balance wheel. So previously MB&F did a collaboration with H. Moser where they actually created, they worked together and created a piece that's specifically for MB&F and then specifically for H. Moser. And that partnership seems to have continued into what they have now. If you looked in that video, they mentioned a double hairspring on the balance wheel of this watch, and this is actually something that was supplied by H. Moser. So it seems as if this collaboration between MB&F and H. Moser is still going to continue, and I'm actually pretty excited to see what is going to come down the pipeline with H. Moser and MB&F now that they've kind of worked together and created something. The double hairspring is actually called the Strassman double hairspring, and it was added to this caliber of the LM101. Obviously, when you turn the watch over, you see this really beautiful in-house movement from MB&F, conceived by in-house movement that was created by Kari Voutilainen. And what's really cool is it has this dark NAC finishing to it, which is different than what the other MB&F LM101s have, where it's a little bit more of just a kind of like a steel color finish to it. Another thing that was a little bit different is the bezel of this watch is a little bit slimmer, so it kind of doesn't dominate what you actually see when you're looking at the dial of this watch. And then another slight difference here is that the subdials on the actual on the dial side of this watch are a little bit larger. than what they were previously. I can't really tell a difference between the two. I think if you put them side by side, you can, but the proportions of them still work with this watch. I would say if the dials were larger than, like extremely large, and would be a little bit larger than the balance wheel itself, I think it might throw off the dial a little bit. But I think the main thing here is this high gloss Laque Tendue finishing they've got on these really beautiful dials. If I was to have one, it would either be the light blue in stainless steel or the purple. Dark blue is fine, but I think the purple one really pops, and then it would also be kind of cool to have a steel LM101. It's cool that they've kind of iterated off the LM101. I think this watch has become extremely popular. If you think back a couple weeks ago, I covered the watches that sold at Philips, and one of the watches that absolutely dominated was from MB&F was the LM101 Hodinkee edition. This went for more than double, I think its upper, more than double its upper estimate for like 95,000 Swiss francs. And so I think this is probably has to do with there's a lot of demand for the LM101, let's release these. Not something that I think Max intentionally does, but I think this is a worthwhile update. And I think it's kind of cool that MB&F continues to kind of iterate off of their original designs. They're able to do that with a 101 because there wasn't a final edition like the LM1 that they actually did, because now it doesn't make sense to really iterate off of that piece. So the white gold and purple, I think it's already sold out. I think every single one of these is already sold out. But the white gold and purple the retail price is 64,000 Swiss francs. The red gold and blue is 64,000, and then the steel and light blue is 53,000 Swiss francs. So obviously steel cheaper metal, but every single one of these, if you go to their website into the shop for Mad Gallery, they're all you have to join a wait list if you want to get a hold of one of these. So pretty insane to think that this is a this went like absolutely quickly as soon as kind of anyone really wanted to get a hold of them. These are really awesome watches. The LM101, I'm really torn between LM101 or LM1, which one I like better. We'll have to see. It's not symmetrical, the LM1, so it's very different than the LM101. Or the LM1 is symmetrical, the LM101 isn't symmetrical, so it's a very different feel for the Legacy Machine lines, but yeah, it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed our coverage of the LM101, these new additions that they've released. Really cool dial colors. I'll put a link in the description to the original video where they talk about this watch. Also, if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you like these types of videos. We really love MB&F at Life on the Wrist, so we cover a lot of their new watches. So if you are interested in that type of coverage, you can basically just scroll through our YouTube channel. You'll see us there. You can also check out our website where we have corresponding articles for each of the videos that we make, so be sure to check us out at lifeonthewrist.com. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button if you like these videos. It really does help get these videos to more watch enthusiasts. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about these watches. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.